Hi, welcome. My name is Jeremiah Hersey. We're going to be talking about security and how to set it up inside the Power BI desktop using DAX, and then we're going to publish out to the Power BI service where we're going to assign those roles. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the sales territory, and notice that inside of the sales territory region we have all of our different regions for the United States: Southeast, Southwest, Northeast, Northwest, and Central. So you can see that this is for the United States. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up a role for the Southeast region. So that's the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up a role for the Southeast region. And then second thing that we're going to do is set up a role for the East region. So it's going to include both Northeast and Southeast. So we'll set that role up as well. And then finally, we'll create a single role for the United States that would include all of the regions within inside of it. So to do this, we're going to go look. I like to do this from my data view. So I'm going to go to my data view and I'm going to go to my home tab. And when you go to the Home tab, you're going to see an option to manage roles. So this is where we're going to create our security roles for our different regions. And so the first region we're going to create is going to be the Southeast region. So that's what we're going to be creating first, the Southeast region. That's going to be our first role to only include that one region. So we're going to click Manage Roles. Notice that there's currently no roles created here, so we're going to create our first role. And once again, this is going to be the Southeast region role. So I'm just going to name this Southeast. So when you create a role, you're going to assign it to a particular table. This is how it's going to filter out that particular table, which then filters out all of your other data. So we're going to do this on the sales territory table. So we're going to click the ellipsis right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add a filter. And the filter that we're going to add is to the sales territory region. Remember, that's where we have Southeast, Northeast, Central in the sales territory region. So we're going to add a filter and we're going to choose the sales territory region. Now, we could have just typed this in as well. So we could have just used our square brackets, typed in sales territory region. But remember that it is metadata rigid, which means that it has to be exact as far as the naming is concerned. So it is a little bit easier just to click Add Filter and then choose the column title. So notice it's set up for us, and we're going to replace the value section right here with what we want. And in this case, it's going to be the Southeast. So we're going to say, okay, I want to filter this down to where the sales territory region is only equal to the Southeast. So then we're going to verify that the DAX expression is good, and then we're going to save this. All right. And so let's go back to our report view over here. All right, and we're going to go to our modeling tab at the top. So go to modeling, and then we can view as and view this as the Southeast region. So we're going to click View As, select Southeast, and click OK. Notice the data is now filtered down. It's telling us we're viewing a Southeast, and the only sales territory region we now see is the Southeast region. So essentially, when we're talking about creating row level security, you can specify on the table what you want to use as a filter. Do I want to filter down by region, or I could set up a filter by country? There's a lot of different options here. That's what makes this so great. And in the next module, we'll also talk about how to do this and how to use dynamic row level security. So let's go ahead and create our next role, which is going to be the east role, which is going to include both the southeast and the northeast. All right, I'm going to click Stop Viewing. And notice that we can also create a role right here, Manage Roles. So we're just going to access this from the Report view under the Modeling tab. All right, so we're going to go to Manage Roles, and we're going to create a new role. This role is going to be the East role. Didn't mean to do that. All right, so on our East role, we now have to include two filters. So on Sales Territory, we need to add a filter. So once again, this is going to be the Sales Territory region. And so with this, we're going to still use our Southeast because that's a part of the East. So we still want to include the Southeast, but we also want to include the Northeast as well. All right, so I'm going to put, and so we want the Sales Territory region for the Southeast, and we want our Sales Territory region. Notice you can type it out as well, and it's okay. I'm going to say Northeast. All right, so we want our Sales Territory region to be filtered by Southeast and Northeast. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We'll validate, looks good, and we'll save. And we're going to view as the East. Notice that we have a problem. So in this instance, the problem is not the coding, it's the statement that we put in between our Southeast and Northeast. We use the AND statement. We want to use the Southeast and the Northeast. Well, the problem is the AND statement says, okay, it has to be both a part of the Southeast and the Northeast region. Unfortunately, there's no data that includes both Southeast and Northeast together. So we're going to change our statement to be an OR statement so that way we can bring back either one. So we're going to go back in here. Let's change this role. We're going to go back to our Sales Territory. And instead of AND, we're going to change this to OR, which is the pipe symbol. So you get the pipe symbol by hitting Shift and backslash, which is right above your Enter key. So we're going to put two pipe symbols. So Southeast or the Northeast. All right, let's go ahead and save that. And notice as soon as we change that statement, we can now see both Northeast or Southeast. The AND statement made it so that they had to be combined, and unfortunately we didn't have any data that had those two combined. So we had to use that OR statement. Awesome. So let's go ahead and let's add a table into this. Let's add a table. And in this table, we're going to add from our geography table, let's add our country into this table. And I'll make this a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, so we now have this table with the country in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our data model. Okay, so we're going to go to our modeling view. And if you click in the bottom right hand corner, this will give you a zoom to fit kind of a way to look at your tables. So I'm just going to rearrange these real quick. All right, let me zoom in here. Actually, let me zoom in here first. All right. So we have this filter that's going in both directions. So remember that the filter direction is important because it tells us what table is allowed to filter what. So currently the internet sales table can filter down our customer table, and our geography table can filter down our customer table, but also our customer table can filter geography. So the relationship between the two tables is also dependent upon the filter. But as we have this filter that's being applied, we have to make sure that our tables can not only talk in both directions, but that the security enabled for both directions is going to allow it to validate that information in the table. So we're going to go to our relationship between internet sales and customer. So just going to double click on the relationship. And notice that it says apply security filter in both directions. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this off. Okay, the reason we're going to turn this off is we want our table that we created with all the countries to still show all the countries regardless of what role we're viewing as. So we've set up our security roles to show Northeast and Southeast region depending on our roles. But this table that we created, the geography, with the geography country column in it, we want to make sure that is visible at all times. So we're going to turn off the security between our internet sales and our customer table. I'm going to click OK. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to our report view. And so we're going to view as, let's do East. Okay, notice that my country over here on the right did not change. Okay, once again, I'm going to show you the reason that we did this. Okay, I wanted to make sure that this country list did not get filtered. If that security was enabled, this list would also get filtered because of the relationship between my geography table and internet sales. Because I have this flowing relationship, right? It flows in both directions. It would filter down my geography table. I turned off the security right here so that it would not filter my geography table. But let's take a look at that. So let's go ahead and turn that security back on. And click OK. And notice that now country is being filtered as well. So when the security is being applied, any relationship direction is going to be taken into consideration. So if we want that full list of country from our geography table, we have to turn the security off. And now we can get our full list. Okay? So not only do we have to be concerned with the security, but also the security between our relationships and our tables. All right, so let's go ahead and create one last role. And this one is going to be for the United States. All right, and so let's go ahead and manage roles. And we're going to create a new role. We're going to call this one United States. And because my tables are allowed to filter in both directions, I can put this on the sales territory, or I could put this on the geography table as well. So I'm just going to go back to sales territory. And remember, this is not the sales territory region now. Okay, we're concerned with not the region, but the country. So we're going to say sales territory country. And we're going to change the value to United States. All right, where the sales territory country is equal to United States. And we'll just validate that real quick and save. All right, so let's go ahead and view as United States. And we can see that we now have all of the sales territory regions. And once again, this country table over here, or the country column inside of this table, is going to give us that full list because we turned off the security in that direction. Awesome. So once we have created our roles inside of the Power BI desktop, it's now time to publish out to the service. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this. So we're going to File, Save As, and I'll put this in my demos and click Save. All right, so we're going to save it first, and then we're going to go to our home ribbon, and we're going to choose Publish in the far right hand side. So we're going to publish this report. It's going to ask us to choose a workspace. So if you don't have a workspace created, you can always choose your My Workspace by default. I'm going to choose my Advanced DAX workspace. It's going to publish out our report. All right, we're going to select the report to open it. All right, so we now have our report. So what we're going to do is we're going to look inside of the workspace, and we're going to go to the data set itself. And inside the data set, we're going to go to security. Okay, so click the ellipsis on the data set and choose security. So this is where you can assign the email address of the user that you want to put in the role. So for instance, if I wanted to add someone to the United States role, I'm just going to add myself. So there is my name. I'll click Add, and I have now been added to the United States role. Click Save, and I'm now added. So to test this role, you're going to click the ellipsis right next to the role and choose Test as Role. And you can see that once again, all of that security is still in place. I still get my full list of country, but I also get my table broken down where it is just the United States. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward as far as creating this row level security, but it's amazing in filtering out these tables to only show the data that you want your end user to see. All right. So All right, so you've seen how easy it is to create this row level security using DAX inside the Power BI desktop. We can test the roles to make sure they work. And then when we publish out to the Power BI service, that's where we're actually going to assign the roles. We're going to put the user's email address in, add them to the role, and then we can test the role to make sure it works. Well, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.